Hey guys, what's up? Colton, Lindsay here, coming to you live from my office with the WGR Live. I'm super stoked today because I got a good friend of mine coming on, and I got to figure out how to get in the center of the screen. I'm going to be talking to my friend Joshua Smith over at GSD Mode. Looks like he's already popping on pretty quickly, and we're going to be talking about some really epic shit today. Invite Josh, that's coming on right now, so you can see that. A couple things we're going to talk about is number one is like why hustle every single day? Like what gets you out of bed? What drives you every single day to take you to the next level? And we're going to talk about the digital economy, the digital currency, and how losers get left behind and how the winners are moving to the forefront of business and life at this moment. Quick shout out, my real estate sales team here in Utah. If you know anyone thinking of buying or selling any real estate here in Utah, get a hold of me or my sales team. If you're looking for absolute best coaching and training platform on the planet, most affordable, most effective, fearlessagent.com. And if you really want to learn to master and create financial freedom in your life, check out Financial Freedom Nation, where we are teaching students how to manage that cash flow towards financial freedom so you don't have to be a part of the system, but you create the system. Josh, thanks for being on, my man. Appreciate you being here.
What's up, brother? Yeah, no,
Okay, so
here, dude.
Before we get started, we always have one little tradition that I do since we've been doing those live streams, and I want to invite you to do that tradition. Is that cool if I invite you to do this?
Sure, let's do it.
Cool. So I always invite people to hit the share button, but I want you to do it the way you start your YouTube videos off, and you say, "Hey, what up, my peeps? It's Joshua Smith." Hit that share button. So that's how I want you to do it, though. Can you do that?
All right, now, it's so funny, dude. I'm so good on Facebook when it comes to running ads, but I have no fucking clue.
You just have to say it. You don't have to push any buttons. All you have to do is say, "What up, my peeps?" You just have to tell people to share it.
All right, what is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here, getting ready to go live. Or I guess we are live with my homie Colton, Lindsay. Make sure that you share this live stream.
Awesome. So if this creates any value for you guys today, make sure to hit those thumbs, those reactions, and put comment below 1 if you know who Joshua Smith is, and put a 2 if you don't know who he is. And also make sure to drop a comment where you guys are from so we know where you guys are coming in at. So Joshua, first of all, for the people that don't know who you are, which I don't know who that is, but in 60 seconds, share who you are, what you do, and what value you're creating for the market space.
So I'm Joshua Smith out in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I own and operate several different companies. One of them happens to be a real estate team here in Phoenix, going on my 12th year in the business. This year, my team is on track to do about 750 transactions, 200 million in gross volume sales here in Phoenix.
Wow. So how many people you got on your sales team right now?
I'm sorry, you started breaking up for a minute. What'd you say?
How many people are on your sales team right now?
So we've got roughly 30 full-time agents. I've got 2 full-time transactions. And then I've got a full-time recruiter and / agent trainer.
Awesome. Cool. So it took you 12 years to build your team to that point. You didn't get there overnight, yes?
No, dude, not.
Hey, is your Wi-Fi on? Do you have your Wi-Fi connected? Hey, do you have your Wi-Fi connected?
I think so. Let me double check.
Yeah. Hey, can you guys, is Josh's feed, is his kind of breaking up a little bit, or can you hear him clear? Put in the comments below so we know what you guys are experiencing, because it's a little foggy on my side. Cool. So it didn't happen overnight. One of the things, I don't know, do you still wake up at 3:30 in the morning? Is that still your thing?
You know, dude, over the last few months, man, I've been switching up my schedule, dude. The 3 a.m., I did the 3 a.m. gig for probably, 8+ years solid. But now I'm finding myself, dude, just with 3 young kids at home, dude, and it just wasn't the most effective schedule for my life. I mean, it's how I operate best. Like I fucking hate the evenings, dude. Like I do really well in the morning, but I've had to retrain my body and reteach my body. So now I'm actually sleeping in till like 7 a lot of days, but I'm up grinding till like 2 a.m. So this way I get to see my kids in the morning, spend a little time with the family before, I get into the office. My wife and I work out every single day together at 8 a.m. Then I go grind, get home, spend one more time with the family, and then just go into my home office that I call my cave, and get shit done all night long instead of so it just works out better. Than two, one of my big concerns, dude, like with young kids, right, is blink of an eye, they're gonna be driving cars, dating, all of that stuff, and I'm like, dude, get up at 3 a.m. I'm passed out at like 8, 9 o'clock at night. Like I need to be like, if that curfew is 10 o'clock or midnight or whatever, I want them to know that dad's like up grinding, waiting. I'll know the second they stick that key in the front door, right? So,
Yep.
so thinking about the future, which I've got a little time for that. My oldest is 8 years old, but actually it's been working really well, dude. So the hours haven't slowed down. When you own 8 companies or your partnership in eight different companies, and you have 200 employees and experiencing rapid growth, the hours don't stop. Which I don't want them to. I know. We've talked about this before, but there's different styles of entrepreneurs, right? There's some entrepreneurs that want to build a business to create a lifestyle where they can go out there and just chill and create a machine where they can go out there and chill and do what they enjoy. I'm one of those entrepreneurs that there's nothing, I don't know, maybe outside of having sex, that I enjoy more than growing business, but I can't have sex all day long, right? So I can grow businesses all day long. So I just,
dude, you can't have sex all day long.
I try, man, but after like a
too
day
much
of
work,
it, man,
huh?
it's
Dude, it's like I always tell my wife, 2 minutes in heaven is better than 1 minute in heaven. You know what I mean? Like that's just how it is. Dude, so why? I mean, you are obviously not just addicted to, and I use that word kind of like lightly, but addicted to growing your business, but you're addicted to creating value for others, right? Maybe I'm wrong with that, but like, what really drives you to grow the business? Is it just the results of making a lot of money and growing the infrastructure, or is it something on what the values
No,
created from that is?
dude, I don't know. I don't know any self-made, extremely successful entrepreneur that doesn't lead from a place of contribution. That it's about the money. To the outside world, it looks like greed, right? Because of course we, as you're on that path to creating success, you start to realize the value of money. So yes, I care massively about money. Money absolutely matters to me. I respect it for the resource and the tool that it is, but I don't worship money, right? Like on my deathbed, I don't have a dollar figure that I must hit to be a fulfilled man, right? So the contribution piece is huge, with the podcast, everything that I do a lot of free speaking events. I'm getting ready to speak to 1,600 agents here in Phoenix in September with Barbara Corcoran from the Shark Tank and Josh Altman from the $1 Million Listing in LA. And, so I do a lot of that. And of course we have the podcast that we have over 1 million downloads a year now and do a lot to give back. But I can't lie to people and say that, I just do what I do to have an impact. I also do what I do because it's what I love to do. And I think that for us to go out there and have the biggest impact, we need to learn to be selfish a little bit, right? We got to take care of ourselves at the highest level, do what truly makes us happy, inspires us, and fulfills us, so then that we can have a greater impact. And when you find that path in your life, it becomes powerful. So, I definitely want to have an impact, and I want to continue having more and more of an impact. Some different things that we're launching right now, getting ready to launch some daily releases and just a ton more free content that we're putting out there. But on a selfish level, dude, it's what completes me as a man, as a human being. I love to build shit, dude. I'm not that guy that can sit and chill, dude. I can't go sit and chill on the beach. Like if I'm on the beach, I gotta like build the best fucking sandcastle that's ever existed on that beach or something. I've got to always be building and doing something, dude. It's just how I roll.
Awesome. So why do you give back? Like, what's the point? What's the purpose? Like, why do you create value for people? Like, go speak for 1,600 people.
Dude, again, man, I would be lying, and I try to be upfront, honest, and authentic as possible. I'd be lying if it was just to impact others, right? I mean, it does have a massive impact on others. On a selfish level, dude, it makes me feel damn good about myself. Right? It just does. Like anytime you give to a charity or when you give up and speak in that manner. I mean, at one point last year, I hit 16 cities in 14 days doing free speaking events. And when I say free, that means I didn't get paid for the event. So I had to pay my airline, pay my hotel. And, I spent over 40 grand last year just doing free events for people. And, yeah, it's dope, dude. When people come up to you and they're messaging you afterwards, I've had people come up after events and in tears, right? Which is amazing. But on a selfish level, dude, it makes me feel really good about myself as well. That I'm doing something bigger than just focusing on me.
So it's this cause versus the effect, right? The effect is the fear, the doubt, the worry, the anxiety, the depression, the hate, the jealousy. And then the cause is the massive action, the empowerment, the passion, the excitement, the enthusiasm, the joy, the giving, right? What I've learned for me is I can't give if someone's not willing to receive, and I can't receive unless someone's willing to give. It takes both of those, right? And you're cool if we talk about this. You said you went through a stage in your life with depression, right?
Yep.
Right. And so was there ever a person like during that time that just maybe they didn't have to, it wasn't for money, but they just stepped in and they served you and they created value for you just because they could?
Not at that time. When I was overcoming depression, dude, I mean, my depression existed, and I can't sit there and also be like it only existed at that one moment, right? It's
Yeah.
come back at times, and every time that it's come back, I've been able to recognize, like, I know the exact behavior internally within me that creates that massive lack of fulfillment, and that's what I call the gap, right? Like, we're choosing to operate down here when we know that our potential is up here. It's not reaching that potential that creates that fulfillment or that helps you overcome depression. It's just knowing that you're not taking action and you're allowing yourself to operate way down there, right? And that's part of the reason that I like to create and build, right? Because I just, again, it just makes me so fulfilled knowing that I'm being productive and having impact, again, on my life, my family's life, other people's lives, whatever, in a positive fashion. So, but on my path to success, financial success or business success or whatever, any aspect of success, yeah, man, I've had so many. I mean, dude, like, when I got into business, dude, 12 years ago in 2005, YouTube didn't exist, Facebook didn't exist, there wasn't podcasts like you and I do. So I'd have to reach out to top producers, and I found that I was just way more successful reaching out to top producers outside of my marketplace. And I would just beg them, dude, hey man, let me jump on an airplane and just be a fly on your wall. I won't even bug you. Let me just shadow your team, your meetings, whatever. I'll just be a fly on the wall. And I had so many people say yes to that. That had such a massive impact on my life. And yeah, I don't know, it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, when people classify him or introduce him like as a self-made man. He goes, I'm not self-made. Nobody's self-made. We had a ton of people that helped us go out there and create this success, right? Like did I come from essentially nothing and create success for myself? Sure, but it's not self-made. I mean, I had massive support from my wife, from my family, from friends, from mentors, from other people. So, even if giving back isn't something that you enjoy to do, dude, you owe it to those that poured into you to give back. And that's a lot of the reasons that I started the podcast and started speaking at such a high level. Because in the beginning, it was, I just get local agents or other agents be like, hey, dude, can I take you to coffee and pick your brain? Well, you can only do that for so long, right? I mean, I get probably a dozen requests a day to sit down and pick my brain. I just can't do it anymore, right? So then you create bigger spaces, other spaces for people to do that. But yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I've had so many amazing mentors over the years that have poured into me, dude, and absolutely wouldn't be where I am without them.
So what I hear you saying is when you're not taking massive action is when you're down here in the gap, right? And it's when you're taking the action that leads to your potential, that's when you get the fulfillment.
Yeah, and not even massive action, right? I mean, it can be like, hey, I mean, at this point in my life anymore, I mean, I still grind a lot, but I'm not, grinding 24/7 like I used to. I mean, sometimes I go through phases. Like right now, I'm going through one of those phases where I'm in the middle of creating 3 new products simultaneously right now in 3 different industries, and it's a grind right now, right? But there's a lot of times where I'll take a day or 2 off a week or whatever that looks like. But even on that day off, man, I'm working on my self-development, or I'm focused on creating memories with my kids, right? Being a better father, being a better husband, whatever it may be. So it doesn't necessarily mean that I've got to be in the grind hustling, right? It's just got to mean that I'm just growing as a human being. I mean, I'm just all about growth, all about expansion. If we're not growing or dying as human beings, and I truly believe, dude, that depression is called universe, called the God. I mean, I'm not a religious person, but I'm a very spiritual person, if you will. So whatever it is that you believe in, I believe that, and we all have our own belief systems, right? But I believe that it's the universe or the world's way of getting you to wake the hell up. Dude, you got that pain, that depression in your life, And that's just a gauge, dude, of like, look, you need to wake the hell up and start doing something.
Yeah. That's what's huge for me, because for the longest time, like I was so driven because like I want to hit that next level financially. I want to hit that next number, like I wanted to prove people wrong that I could do it. Right. And then it hit to me like, okay, money's not an issue. Like money comes to me easily and frequently. But what I realized is like depression, when I had some sort of any bit of depression in my life, it's because I was living in the past, right? Like either my past mistakes, or I felt someone had hurt me, or I was blaming, justifying my results. And then once I could forgive myself and I could get like to this space of today, the depression disappeared, right? Like it went away. But then I started hitting up against this other side of anxiety, right? And then the anxiety was this fear of maybe running out of money, or the fear of not making it happen financially, or the fear of letting my spouse down, or the fear of, I'll be honest, one of my fears lately, my anxieties lately, is the fear of losing my parents, right? Like this fear, and you kind of expressed a little bit, like your kids are going to grow up one day, right? You're going to blink and they're going to be gone. And it's funny, when I catch myself, I'm living in the future that causes this anxiety. When I get rid of that future thinking and I get in today's thinking, obviously planning for the future, but getting in today, like this moment, like this, us conversating right now, or if I'm spending time with my kids, whatever it is, then all of a sudden fear and depression disappears. And now it's like this wave opens up, right? And you get to create wherever you want. So why would you say a lot of people are suffering maybe in this negative energy today, that are getting stuck there versus getting proactive and in cause mode?
Dude, I mean, I don't, I mean, everybody's got their own, shit, dude. So I can't really speak for others. I mean, my experience has been, at least for those that that have been close to me, that have been in those down times. I mean, there's a lot of reasons that can create it, right? But almost every time that I've experienced is some type of victimhood, where we're blaming the cards that were dealt, not learning to, hey, here's the cards that have been dealt. Let me go play these cards to the best of my ability, right? I mean, victimhood is just when you're blaming your circumstances, right, for the life that you created, instead of taking responsibility of that. And I was told at one point that there was three things that create all suffering and war and internal suffering, depression, all that on this planet, which is resistance, resentment, and revenge. I believe there's a fourth thing now today. I mean, I think that those things are all true, but I believe that there's a fourth now today, which is comparison. And I think a lot of the suffering that exists now today is directly due to social media. It's like you texted me before this app. I'm like, dude, I had to download Facebook on my phone just to be here for this interview, right? So like I don't even I'm totally detached from it as possible, because I mean I'm weak like every other human being, right? So I just learned that success is an elimination, dude. If I just eliminate this shit, if I have Facebook on my phone, I'm gonna get addicted to it, right? I'm gonna be on it 24/7. I don't want to be that guy. Smartphones, dude, are not making us smarter. They're making us dumber, right? So, yeah. But yeah, that comparison, I think, I mean, suicide rates are massively through the roof right now, and a lot of it's due to social media. People go in this comparison mode, and gets kind of scary. So, but yeah, dude, it's like you said, living in the past, right? Which would be a lot of that resentment, right? And I love that you brought that up with living in the past or living in the future, which most people do. And we become delusional as human beings. We always think our future self is going to be stronger than our current self, right? It's always like, oh, dude, I'm going to start working out Monday, man. I'm gung ho. I'm going to start working out Monday. I'm going to, whatever. And this is like a Thursday. And then all of a sudden, Monday comes, you're like, I'm good, right? We always like have this presumption that our future self is going to be better, stronger, more disciplined. And the only way your future self is going to be better, stronger, more disciplined is focusing on the now, becoming better in the moment, in the now. It's like Jim Rohn always said, man, success, or creating success, is not a doing process, it's a becoming process. So I've got to learn to be better in the now, so then I can become better, and become the person I want to become for the future. And then the other thing too that I think, at least recently it's come up, and not me personally in my life, but some people close to me, that's created a lot of suffering and pain, is people today now, feel like they have to have this purpose or this why. It's like, and it seems like so many people that go down that path so deeply, again, it creates so much internal suffering. Like, oh shit, I don't know what my purpose is. So whatever. And they feel like they're doing nothing with their life because they can't identify some big purpose. And I'm like, look, dude, maybe you need a purpose, maybe you don't. Maybe at some point you'll discover one. But what I always recommend to people in those situations is identify who you are right now. right? Deal in realities, identify who you are right now, identify the person that you know you want to become. Who are you capable of becoming? What do you want to become? And then put all your attention on becoming that person. And during that path through that, yeah, maybe you'll discover your purpose. And I was recently asked by my peak performance coach, and she had the question was in context of somebody else, not me personally, but I applied the exercise to me. She was like, you strip away all the success, right? All the money, all the success, all the material possessions, even your family. Take everything away, and you're standing there naked in front of the mirror. Who are you as a human being? Right? And I started thinking about it, and then I'm like, well, fuck, dude. Like for me, I'm just a naked dude standing in front of a fucking mirror. That's all that I am, and I don't want to be just a naked dude standing in front of the mirror. At that point, at a low moment like that, I'm gonna deal in realities of what I am in that moment. I'm going to identify who then I want to become, and I'm going to put all my energy, attention, and focus on becoming the person I want to become, period. But there's a lot of reasons, dude. And people, I don't know, none of us, we as human beings, we get so delusional thinking that we were entitled to certain upbringing and a certain life, and we should have had this, whatever, and everybody's got their own shit. But I know that there's people that had it a bazillion freaking times worse than I ever did, right? So I don't like to pretend that I know what it's like to be in anybody else's shoes, because I have no idea.
So if this so far is creating any value for you guys, make sure to share some reactions, give some hearts and some thumbs up if this resonates with you. Give some angry faces if you think it's a bunch of bullshit, and put in the comments below where you guys are from, where you guys are located in the world today. And then also hit that share button. Do me a favor. My mission is simple: create massive value for others, empower you to act. And number 3 is share the message. So click that share button and get it out there. It's funny, Josh, you bring up like, so I had this fear, like I hit some major pain about a year ago, July 10th, right? I believe it was the day that a good friend of mine passed away from stomach cancer, 39 years old, making $1.5 million a year, crushing it, right? And all of a sudden I was like, dude, I'm mortal. Like that was like the day it clicked on me, like I am a mortal human being, right? And so I started this fear and this anxiety of ill health, and I was fat, dude. I was giving all these justifications of why I was overweight or out of shape, of unhealthy. My parents taught me bad habits, or I grew up middle class, or my parents took me to Wendy's, or whatever. I was putting the blame off, right? And it was only until I got that pain big enough to me that I was like, all right, that's my choice. I choose to be unhealthy. So I want to now choose to be healthy. You go from, in November till today, I go from 210 to 172 pounds and drop down to just about 12% body fat. And it was only once the pain was great enough that I said, enough is enough. I got to take some action to get my shit together, right? It doesn't matter how much money I'm making if I'm dead at 35 or 39, right? So what are some of the action items or the things that you could suggest to these guys listening in that allows you to get into that just cause mode, that production mode, that fulfillment mode, and just create?
Yeah, I mean, to get into the mode that you need to get into, at least in my opinion, right? Because if we could split the atom on success, and everybody has to define success however they want to define it. Who the hell am I or Colton to tell you what success should be for your life? But if we were to split the atom on success, meaning, you split the atom, what's inside, like neutrons, right? Which is, we can't even measure how small they are, right? So if we were to split the atom to the smallest element that exists out there when it comes to success, it's discipline. It's mastering self-discipline, and what is discipline? It's mastering those things and learning to do those things extremely well that you fucking hate doing, right? So how do I go out there and master discipline? Because if you're relying on willpower, you're probably not going to make it, dude. Because we all, like, I don't know about you guys, but I have like a ton of willpower until like noon, and then it's out the damn window, right? So I can't rely on willpower, right? So how do I create disciplined habits in my life? Is number 1, get clarity on what you want. And if you can't figure out what you want yet at this point in your life, figure out what you don't want. It's like every Monday, my wife and I, we have date night in our marriage. And we go out to eat. And, the other night I'm sitting there and I'm looking around the restaurant, right? And like 90% of the people in the restaurant were not just overweight, but borderline or even morbidly obese. And there was this one lady that probably was only in her 60s that had a walker, that couldn't even get out of the chair because she was so overweight, neglected her health so bad. Like, I may not know the exact shape or health that I want for myself when I'm, that age, but I can identify that and be like, I know I don't want that. So if you can't figure out what you want, which a lot of people have a difficult time with, which I get. Identify what you don't want, dude. Like, I know
Yeah.
that I don't want to have those health issues. I don't want to have a failed marriage, right? Like, I've had elements in my life where I've had pain that woke me up. But you don't have to wait until you have a low moment to wake up, right? The saying is, it's smart to learn from your mistakes, but the smartest way is to learn from others' mistakes, right? So,
Yep.
like, I don't have a failed marriage. I've been with my wife we started dating at 16 years old. So we've been together for 19 years now, and married for over a decade. And we have a great marriage. And I don't want to have a failed marriage, right? So I'm very intentional about that. Now, I haven't had to go through the pain of divorce or pain of that, being to that verge to wake up. I just figured out what the hell I don't want, right?
Yeah.
But you got to get clarity on that, because, dude, like business is very simplistic, just like all success. If I want to be like, okay, Colton, and congrats on the, the health journey, dude, and the success there. But it's like, okay, dude, if I want to go out there and lose weight, right, or take care of my health, it's not fucking rocket science. We all know what to do there, right? Or you can figure it out on Google in 5 minutes for free of what to go out and do. So same thing with business. Dude, people think that business is so difficult. It's so freaking simplistic, right? The difficult part is we overcomplicate it, right? But simplicity doesn't mean easy, right? It's very hard for me to choose. Like, right before I jumped on this interview, dude, I had grilled chicken with some zucchini, right? No sauce, tasted like hell, plain, whatever. But I know what I want with my health. It's summertime, and I want to pull off my shirt and feel good, look damn good, right? And have those other health benefits, right? So simplistic doesn't mean difficult, but you gotta, if you don't have full clarity on what you want or what you don't want, you're gonna give into those easy times. But then from there, like, if you guys can see here, let me unplug this, but I'm in my office right now. So this is inside my studio. So everywhere inside here is, different quotes, different things that matter to me, different photos, whatever. But I have sayings everywhere, right? Kind of like, my life mission statements. I've got a sign up here for my daughter. I've got one of my favorite Eminem posters there. So it's one of these things, dude, where every single day, like for me, I always think of Zig Ziglar's quote, motivation doesn't last, but neither does bathing. That's what you need daily. So every day, dude, I have a planner that I go through where I write out what my yearly goals are for every aspect of my life, right? I write out where I am year to date with those goals and how. So it's always, here's my goal, here's how I'm doing to that goal. Then I have a planning element for each aspect of my life. Like, what's my plan for my workout, my meditation, my self-development, for my business. I identify the 3 most key top things that must happen to create today a success. And then at the end of the day, I have a reflection process that I go through. Okay, here's everything I had to do to create a win today. And then now let me reflect on this, dude. And I have that document next to me all the time. So there's times, dude, I got to whip out my goals and review my goals 4 or 5 times in a day, right? Like, I might be grinding, all of a sudden it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, shit, dude, I don't feel like doing this anymore, right? Well, then I can lose motivation very quickly, like any human being, but it's my choice to stay in that state, right? I can re-energize myself, get myself in the right state. And I will say the number one way to increase motivation is by taking action. Like, you got to understand that you are not your emotions, right? Like, when you got that voice in your head every morning when my alarm goes off, dude, especially when I was doing those 3 a.m. wake ups for almost a decade of my life, my emotions were like, dude, don't wake up. I'm tired. You deserve to sleep in. You've been working hard. Like, you don't need to be doing this. But I know I'm not my emotions, right? Your emotions, that inner voice in your head, is really your domestication of society speaking to you. If it's you speaking, who the hell's listening, right? So I understand that I'm in control of my emotions. I can listen to them or not listen to them. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm not like one of those people that wakes up in a great mood. Like, I'm kind of pissy, right? But I choose to not listen to them, and then I can choose to start taking action. And then the more action I take, the more it breeds more action. One of the big differences between winners and losers is losers wait to get motivated to take action, right? Winners take action regardless of their emotional state. Ooh. And again, that action then continues to create more and more action.
So give some thumbs up if you can resonate with that. Like, it's for me, like, I wasn't motivated to go to the gym, right? I felt better after I went to the gym. And then the more I went to the gym, the more I was motivated, to where now, like, I just go to the gym. Like, I go do my workout. And it's not just going to the gym, it's like, all right, dude, I got to make sure that I've got 6 exercises in with a minimum of 10 sets on every exercise, and I got to hit 15 minutes of HIIT training today, right? Like before, it was just like, oh, I arrived, like I came to the gym, right? But it was only once I got into it that motivation came. So hit that share button if you get any value from Josh. And also Patrick said here, Josh just said everybody has a past, everybody has a situation. Colton, something you may want to consider is you are in judgment of others. I completely admit I judge other people. I'm great at being a judge, and you know what? That's one of the things that I increasingly get better at. But one of the things that I am not okay with is people in my area, my sphere, whether it's on Facebook, on social media, or in my environment here in the my organization, is I'm not okay with people staying in that effect mode. I am not okay with people saying, "Hey, this is my situation, and because of that, my life is worse or more difficult, more challenging than you." And the reality is like, get to fucking work and create life on your terms. And sometimes I offend people. Like, that's just how I am. And I don't mean to. I'm just saying, hey, enough is enough. Let's get to work. Let's create life on our terms. So appreciate that feedback. Thank you, Patrick. You know, one of the funny, as we start shifting gears here, Josh, a couple of statistics that I recently read. I read a book called Irresistible, and it talks about 2 types of addiction. One is a little bit about substance addiction, but number 2 is behavioral addiction, which is rampant across society today. You talked about it, being addicted to Facebook, social media, email, your phone, Instagram, right? Like, it is an addiction that's becoming a problem. And the difference between being like addicted to your phone and say Instagram versus being addicted to heroin, people want to help you get off heroin, but 1,000 people want to help you stay on your phone and get you clicking that next button to be able to get you to purchase something or like something or share something, right? So 65% in this book, it shares that 65% of Americans, so 62% of Americans wake up with their phone in their hand in the first 15 minutes, and they go to bed with their phone in their hands the last 15 minutes of a day, right? Like, that is a prime example. People are addicted. 65% of Americans today in modern society are overweight or obese. That, to me, is a problem, is an issue that someone must address. Like, if we don't call awareness to it, who is going to call awareness to it, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger, you brought it up. He wasn't self-made. He had mentors. He had people calling him out and saying, hey, dude, you want to level up? You want to get here? You got to push yourself to the next level. So let's shift gears and talking about shifting to the next level. You clearly have dominated your social media with getting your message out there, but it sounds like you've dominated in controlling and not becoming addicted to social media. So tell and share your feedback on how digital economy is shifting business forever, number 1, and how people need to be and must be involved with it. Number 2 is, how do you keep it from becoming an addiction?
Okay, dude. So, I mean, when it comes to an online marketing presence, I mean, let's just speak real estate, right? So, you know, the game never changes. There's fundamental truths that I mean, I know realtors that have been top producers for 40, 50 years, you know, right? And the same shit that worked 40 or 50 years ago works today. It's just eyeballs are in different places, right? So, you know, I used to do radio, I used to do TV, I used to do, you know, 50,000 direct mail pieces every single month. My message that was on those hasn't really shifted. Like, the guarantees that I use, my call to actions, like, really none of that's shifted. It's just where the consumer's eyeballs shifted. So you've just got to follow and adapt to where people are, right? You got to show up where your consumer is, and it just happens to be social media. I mean, there's over 2 billion people on Facebook right now. The average person checks in and logs into Facebook 17 times a day. So if I'm not there, then dude, like, if your avatar is there, meaning your ideal client, the consumer that you want to reach, if you're not showing up where they are, you're going to have some issues. You're probably going to become extinct, you know, right? So that's how I look at it, man. And I don't care where they are. I don't care where they're going next. I'll just always shift, move, shake, and adapt. I mean, it's one reason that I've been in business now for 12 years, and my real estate business has grown every single year, regardless of if it's been a big boom, a crash, interest rates, who the hell the president is. None of it's mattered. And it's not because I'm brilliant, you know, right? It's just because I'm smart enough to adapt, shift, and change to where people are. And that's the importance of it. So yeah, I mean, I've got my own private Facebook group that we started that's got, you know, 7,000+ people in there. You know, my business page, I don't know, 30,000+ likes on that page now. You know, so I mean, anyway, with that, like, yeah, I've grown a following, I've grown an audience. We continue growing. It continues to grow exponentially. I was just looking at the numbers, dude. I've spent $700,000 in the last 2 years on Facebook ads. Right? And that's not in my real estate business. That's been all my companies, right? I spend about $3,000 a month on Facebook ads in my real estate business. But what you got to look at is you got to identify of your effectiveness of your time, right? It's like, okay, it's just like going into the office. If I go into my real estate office, my time can be spent very well if I'm focused, if I'm driven, but it can be spent in a shitty manner too if I just go in there and gossip and socialize and I'm not effective, right? So there's a right way and a wrong way to do anything. I go to a networking group and I can be effective there, or I can just use it as entertainment. So just always reflecting and asking yourself, is what I'm doing being an effective use of my time, or is it not? Life is about trade-offs, right? So like right now, you're trading off a certain portion of your life to watch this interview right now, this podcast, or whatever the hell this is classified as. But you're trading off this portion of your life. That means you're gonna have that less time to spend with your kids, your significant other, with your clients, whatever. So in each element, you've got to reflect and just ask yourself: is this an effective trade-off? Right? So like if I go to the coffee machine and there's an agent sitting there venting and bitching to me about how bad the market is or how they've got a nightmare client, and I choose, and choice is the key word there because every action is a choice. If I choose to sit there and listen to them vent for 20 minutes, well, I just traded off that 20 minutes of my life that could have been invested with my kids, could have been invested into my business or another element. So but people just operate so fast today, dude, right? Where they don't take the time to really reflect. So you got to always be reflecting, spending some good time in solitude and asking yourself, are these effective trade-offs? Is this an effective use of my time or not?
That's what I teach with inside of my sales organization, inside of my mastermind, and in our coaching students is what's called Smart Day and Smart Week. It's like Smart Day is 15, 20 minutes, and this is minimal of just reflecting on where is my day gone and where is my day going tomorrow. Like get intentional with your time. And Smart Week's the same thing. It's like I would imagine that as busy as you are, you probably take a lot of time just to reflect. Yes? Or am I making that up?
Yeah, no, I mean, I spend as much time in solitude as I can, right? So, which is probably about 5 or 6 hours a day, right? I'm not just reflecting and watching paint behind the wall, but I'm just the older I get, the kind of more introverted I become, and the more time that I like to be alone. But I will say this too. So like when people hear me now today talk about I've got dedicated times where I check my email. I've got dedicated times where I check my text messages. I don't even answer my phone anymore, right? But like Colton talked about, the average person wakes up looking at their phone and goes to bed looking at their phone. Well, dude, if I got wiped out and I was having to rebuild my real estate business from scratch, dude, you're fucking right. I'm going to be checking my phone first thing in the morning. I'm going to be checking my phone in the evening. I'm going to be checking my phone while I'm taking a poop, dude, right? Like I'm going to be on my phone 24/7. Like when I was growing my business, dude, like I remember at one point, like I'm having sex with my wife and a call comes in. And I'm like, dude, I got to take this call, right? And she's like, seriously? I'm like, yeah, baby. Like, this is I got to grow and build, right? So, there's different elements, right? So when people ask me about my schedule today and what I do today, I'm like, you got to understand it. It's a little different. I mean, I have multiple personal assistants now that handle certain things. So those calls, those leads aren't getting missed. So, I think people there need to be careful too, where dude, like leads can't be missed out on, opportunities can't be missed out on. If I was starting from scratch today, I would be addicted to my phone, not in an entertainment fashion, but I'd first thing in the morning, I'd probably set my alarm every other hour in the middle of the night and checking emails and responding to those, right? Until to the point where I could delegate those things out, right? And that's when you start to have a true business, is once you get to the point where you can delegate those. But for a while, yeah, you got to hustle and you got to grind until you get to the point where you can delegate it strategically.
Yeah, you got to do whatever it takes to make it happen. So how could you have created the business you've created today, say in the 90s? Could you have had as much and as quick of success with your business today? Could you have done that in the 90s as you've done today? Did that question make sense? Or did I just confuse you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's theoretical, right? I mean, but I believe so, right? I mean, I had massive success when I first got in this business in 2005 at 23 years old with, that was before, again, social media. I mean, dude, 48% of my business still today comes from open houses. I'm listing 20 homes a week right now, and the vast majority of those are still coming from my mega open houses, right? So now we have a lot of ads or business that we're doing from online advertising, whatever, but absolutely, dude. I mean, the internet's not, again, man, the fundamentals don't change. It's just where people are showing up that's those things shift and alter. But yeah, man, I mean, if you have the right mindset, the right commitment, you're going to create success in any environment that you're in. The reason people don't create success in their life has nothing to do with, the mediums. I mean, it has all to do with their commitment, right? I mean, how committed are you to going out there and creating success? I mean, that's all it boils down to. If your bank account sucks, it's because you're not committed to your bank account. If your health sucks, it's because you're not committed to your health. So, and that's just a personal thing that people have got to learn and learn to deal with.
So with that being said, the idea is you got to get customers. It doesn't matter if it's from an open house or from a Facebook ad or from a Facebook ad driving people to the open house. Like, you must get customers. Has the digital economy been able to help you increase the speed of which you can acquire customers?
Yes and no, right? I mean, it's. I was talking with, I don't know if you know Pat Heidman, but he's a good buddy of mine.
Pat's a good dude.
He's got an epic podcast, and he was all like, man, back in the 90s when you got a lead, he goes, it was like doing a line of coke, and he goes, not that I do a bunch of coke, he goes, or whatever. It was just an analogy where it's just like boom, like you would get energized because you knew it was a solid lead. Now today, because the average human being is sold well over 2,000 times every single day, we don't have the mental capacity to handle it, so that we put up so many more blocks today. So yes, is it easier to lead generate now today than ever? Sure. Right, but it takes way more reach outs, way more frequency, and sometimes a lot more time. People have more options today than ever before too. So, again, I didn't exist in business in those standpoints, but I'm guessing it all ends up being relative.
So it's from my experience, it's all patterns, right? Like it's recognize what the patterns are and using those patterns to your advantage, whether it's digital or whether it's communication patterns or whether it's health patterns, right? We have these beliefs going on. 126 bits per second of information can go register through us consciously. 2 million bits of information can register subconsciously, right? And we have so much information being fed into our subconscious mind now. So how do you use the digital communication and stay ahead of, just dominating the competition, really? What do you do differently than what the competitors do?
Well, dude, again, man, I'm just committed to mastering my craft, right? So, I mean, for real estate success, right? I mean, there's only a few things that you got to do to create success. Number one, master your craft, right? So when I'm talking about mastering my craft, that's going to be mastering my processes. That's my lead generation, my lead follow-up, my listing presentation, my buyer presentation, leading my clients to going under contract, and then of course the contract to close, and then we've got the past clients, right? So I'm going to master those processes. So when I say master them, like I became, in my opinion, one of the most badass listing agents, right? Like I don't go on listing appointments at this point in my career, but when I was, because I was going on 6 listing appointments a day, right? That wasn't uncommon for me. I would put myself and my abilities up against anybody at that point in time. But it wasn't from going on the 6 listing appointments a day or whatever that I got so good at it. I was so committed to mastering my craft that I'd go home at night after working my 12, 14, 15, 16-hour day, spend all the time with the family. When the family would go to bed, I'd spend 3 hours every single night rehearsing, role-playing my presentation over and over and over. So that's mastering your craft. Processes inside your business. Then from there, and this applies to every business, right? My companies are from real estate to software to the health and fitness and healthcare industry. So it's all the same. It's all the same in every business. Just the product changes. So then from there, I've got to develop systems around my processes. So systems ensure that those processes happen over and over and over, are not missed. They're duplicatable and become scalable. Right? Then from there, it comes down to tracking and knowing my numbers. Every successful entrepreneur knows their numbers intimately, right? So I've got my processes that I've mastered. I've got my systems to ensure those processes happen, and I know my numbers. Like right now, I know, we were just talking about Facebook. I know 10% of Facebook leads that we generate.
And you're froze there. Oh, there you are. Cool, you froze for a second.
So I know that 10% of all the Facebook leads I generate turn into an appointment set. 76% of our appointments set end up getting conducted. 26% of our conductions create to a close. So that's 1 close out of 47 Facebook leads. So let's just say I want to close 12 Facebook leads a month. Well, I know I need to generate 19 Facebook leads a day. right? That's what tracking allows you to do. Like my business is 100% predictable. I know exactly where my business is. I know exactly where it's going to be in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, based on the numbers. Then from there, if you want to create a true business, meaning like my real estate team, I mean, a busy week for me right now, my real estate team is about 15 minutes a week of my involvement. So as I'm doing this show with you right now, I've got 87 deals in escrow. I don't know one address, but that's not my job anymore. My job is to oversee the systems, making sure that the processes are being executed, making sure that my agents and my teammates are trained, coached, and have all the greatest opportunities that they possibly can for that. So then once I have those dialed in, then it comes down to my ability to be able to strategically delegate. And that's what the growth of my company then becomes about. So when it comes to real estate success, that's it. I will say this though, you know,
Cool.
when you guys are talking about digital marketing, if you are reliant on social media to grow your business and your chips all in on that, you're going to have some big freaking problems, right? Like, dude, you can't.
What do you mean by that?
Least in my,
Explain that.
well, okay. So if I have no other pillars to my business, right? If my one pillar is just Facebook advertising and I have no other pillars, and I built my business on one foundation, one source, and that's it. What happens if that shifts, right? I mean, I've had so many elements of my business that have shifted, and we've been, because there is no, like right now I'm getting ready to create, or not getting ready to grow, we're going to be launching it soon. It's a new REO and short sale product program. And inside there, I talk heavily about there's no such thing as a good market or a bad market. It's always whom is it good for. You know, so you got to always have these different pillars out there and be able to shift and move and adapt to that marketplace. But dude, if your chips all in one medium, especially in my opinion, I mean, that's the scary thing I see in our industry right now is people just so laser focused on one medium. Now, I love Facebook ads, don't get me wrong, but I have many other mediums that we're attacking too. I don't want to put myself in that vulnerable of a position ever, and I never have, and I never will, where I'm just reliant on one source.
Well, you look at that in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, Facebook changed their algorithms and everyone had their Facebook, you know, business page. They had 10,000, 30,000 followers. You could get in front of those people every single day. Now all of a sudden they change it to pay to play, and you go from 10,000 people seeing you every day to 1% of those people seeing you every day. You never know when the algorithm is going to change or when the digital process is going to change. So what I hear from you is, and I'm getting is you got to really dominate your process, your system, and creating that database of being able to always drive business out of creating the database. It doesn't matter if it's digital or from postcards or open house.
Yeah, and a good example is look at all the REO agents, you know, right? I was one of them, right? I shifted and adapted. I was a top traditional agent. The market crashed. I was amongst one of the biggest crashes in Phoenix, Arizona. So I shifted and adapted and positioned myself to be a top REO short sale agent, you know, right? But I kept those other mediums alive. So when that started to go away, I was easily
Cool. So you froze for a second, but we totally get what you mean by that is you got to be able to adapt to the market and shift with the market. So Josh, anything you want to say before we wrap things up? And I think you were, oh, there you are. You came back. Cool. Go ahead. All right, cool. So we have clearly lost Josh. Josh, appreciate you being on the show. Your signal's cutting out, so I'm going to wrap you up. Give Josh a bunch of thumbs up and click that. We appreciate Josh being on the show. One thing that I would recommend to you guys is to create your database, create your processes, create your systems. And what can you take away from today's interview from someone that is clearly creating life on their terms? That's the whole purpose that I do these podcasts is I want to learn from other people living epic lives, and I want to be able to take what they've created in their life and apply it to my life. I know that one day I'm going to die. In fact, you're going to die. Gary Vee talks about this. You're going to die. Your life is going to end. When you get to the end, do you want to have lived life on your terms, or do you want to have lived life on other people's terms? We have 7.5 billion people on the planet today. You have so much information coming at you trying to tell you how to live your life. My recommendation is you start to live life on your terms. What does that look like? The best way to do it is we live in a diverse world, so learn from people that are creating massive results in their life and say, hey, I'm going to take from them and I'm going to apply it. I'm going to go to work and I'm going to do that. Cool. A couple ways that I can help you create life on your terms is number one is you want to grow your real estate sales business. You want to become a better real estate salesperson. Go to fearlessagent.com. Get signed up today for the absolute most affordable, effective coaching and training on the planet. Fearlessagent.com. One of the ways I can really help you grow your life is if you have this problem where you might be stuck financially, can never get ahead, or you never can get that money working for you. I want to help you create financial freedom, and we can do that through our Jumpstart program. Go to financialfreedomnation.com. And we literally have almost 100 students have gone through our beta program in the last 6 weeks. We are watching people pay off credit cards. We are watching people buy investment properties. We are watching people create digital currency. We are watching people pay off business loans. We're watching people actually start to have a management system for their cash flow. And in fact, on the 15th of July, we're going to be launching for the beta members only our Financial Freedom Accelerated program, where we're going to have a group coaching aspect and a private group for the people that are involved. Do they want to grow their financial freedom? Cool. And then also, if you guys are outside of Utah, or if you're in Utah and you're looking to buy or sell real estate, or you have someone that needs help, get a hold of me or my sales team, the WGR Real Estate Sales Team. We want to help create value for you in our real estate sales business. We're ready to take advantage of any opportunity you guys can send our way and help create value back for you guys. And the very last thing I just want to put out there is, if you have considered to grow around a specific group of individuals that are committed to a high level of success and happiness and just dominating and creating that life on their terms, I would suggest that you apply to join my personal mastermind with AJ Maida, Brian Casella, Al Torrey, Cody Barton, just some of the people that are involved. There's 20 of us right now, 21 actually that are inside of our mastermind. It's called the Real Estate Hustlers Mastermind. And I'll tell you, it a little bit is about real estate, but a lot of it is about creating life on our terms. I mean, we're talking about how do we improve our relationships? How do we grow our financial growth, financial freedom? How do we take our health to a next level? We got some, Chad Boyles, one of our examples. Not only is he on track to make over $200,000 in his real estate business this year, and it's his first full year in real estate, leaving a corporate position, but he also has already lost 40 pounds. Yes, that's right, 40 pounds just with his physical body, fat just taken off, and he is really dominating. And so those are some of the things that you can create in your life when you get into that right circle, get around those people. So appreciate you guys for watching this. Do me one last favor. Give me a bunch of reactions if this created any value for you. My mission is to create massive value for everyone and empower you to act. Where must you act now? Where do you got to take action now? Do it now, because now is the time. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but you do know right now. So take some action. And then finally, share the message. Hit the share button and help this empower someone else. Help this create value for someone else. And together we can help make peace come to this earth. And you know, I literally think about everything that we are challenged with as humanity today, with 7.5 billion people on the planet. We've got wars going on. We've got health problems going on. We've got violence going on. We've got a lot of negative shit going on, but together we can create more positive stuff. We can create a more positive outlook, and we create value for other people. And right now, I believe more than ever, it's my opportunity and it's my responsibility, it's my obligation to give back and serve in a huge way. And I hope that you guys feel the same. So ask yourself this question: where can I go create value today, and who can I go create value for? And go do it now. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.